So, no matter how many breakthroughs or awakening experiences we've had, where all of a sudden we just feel light and free and like everything makes sense for the first time in our lives, no matter how many experiences like that we have, it's still very possible to forget because we are having this human experience. So the forgetting can look like getting swept up in appearances, spiraling, getting reactive, getting swept up in dense emotions like anger or fear or frustration or grief. And none of that means that we're failing, and none of that means that we should beat ourselves up. But rather, just think of it as you're playing tennis. And so I used to play a lot of tennis, so I like this analogy. So you're playing tennis and you run to the edge of the court to go after a ball, but then you always come back to the center of the court. And there were a lot of, when I was first learning the sport, there were a lot of things to remember, but that was the most important thing. Well, two things: keep your eye on the ball and always come back to center court. So anytime you catch yourself falling into forgetfulness, like, first of all, congratulations for that, because the old you might not even have been aware of that. Like, you might have stayed in that spiral for months or even years. And so, yeah, so that in itself is an accomplishment, that you even have the awareness to recognize what's taking place. And yeah, and then there's no need to beat yourself up, no need to feel discouraged. Just come back to center court. And so what does coming back to center look like? So I have a few phrases that I like to use depending on the situation. One of them is from reality transurfing. It's, I see myself, I see my reality. And that immediately reminds me that I am not the character in the movie. Sometimes I might also ask myself, who's in charge? And that also pulls me back to center. So it reminds me that me, not the human character, but the greater awareness, is the one that's in charge, and that kind of prevents me from getting swept up in the condition or even the thought or the feeling. And then you can also ask yourself, am I aware of fill in the blank? So am I aware of this anxiety, or who is aware of this anxiety? So try that.